So as you can see on your screen, there's a circle highlighted. Now we have three different ones that are highlighted on the chart, and I'll explain those in just a second. The 7 on this chart will be highlighted with that goldish line right there. The 20 is going to be highlighted by this pink line right here. And the 50 will be highlighted by this teal blue arrow right here. So I'll even write down the time frames just to make things easier. And I'll show you very, very quickly how we utilize and process this information. So if you look at where the ellipse or the circle is, if you notice, the gold is at the bottom, the pink is in the middle, and the blue is at the top. And notice how the gold crossed above the blue here. It created that pseudo X. That's the X pattern that we want to look at. Now, what's really important in this situation to verify that buy is that we want the 20 EMA as well to cross over. Okay. So if we look back down, right back here, once again, the gold line went from being on the bottom to being on the top. And the pink ended up crossing over shortly after. So what you're going to notice is that once it's crossed over, this is where I decided to buy. Your entry should be no more than 25 cents above that line, the 7 EMA, and your stop is 25 cents below the 50 EMA. Okay. So I'll write below, I'll write above. It's very uniform, it's very simple. Now, what you want to do is be in protective mode. This is a shorter term trade idea. You could be adjusting your stop in accordance to the 50 EMA on the way up. You now also have the ability of taking profits off the table as you desire or at upside targeted levels that you were looking to go after. You could also look to exit immediately once we start crossing down, because usually that's a sign that things are going to start working back down. And in this instance, if we buy here and even if we trail our stop, we'd still be stopped out as a profitable trade. Now, some people get too hung up about how much they're making on each trade, as opposed to just getting it in properly and letting the markets do the work for you. We truly will never know which trade will be the big home run hitter. We just don't. Sometimes the markets just want to give you a bunch of $100 here and then throw you a couple thousand here and there. We just never know. So we don't want to go into any trade thinking this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one. The idea here is rinse, wash, repeat. All we're trying to do is take advantage of the scenario and the situation over and over and over again. Now, here's a bigger picture so you can see it. Can you folks see that X? Let me know in the chat if you see that X there. Rod, I had mentioned for presentation purposes, every chart will be on either the 30-minute or the 1-hour time frame. So you can see that X right here, folks. Look at this. Pretty easy, pretty clairvoyant, huh? Now, if you're wondering about these dots, it's another tool I use. I assure you we'll talk about that more in a bit. So the setup worked perfectly. I mean, it made this move in just about a day and a half. And not only will I trade the stock, sometimes students will use options to get a better price. Taking this knowledge and using options have helped students net 25%, 50%, even over 100% in a matter of hours. I had a day trade today that went 125%. Here's an old example with Apple. Can you see the X on Apple's chart? I mean, look at that cross and then look at that move. I bought right after the cross, guys and gals, and it went to the moon. How many of you folks can see that X? How many of you folks could see that X there? Isaiah, respectfully, I actually have scanners that point this out to me all day long, all day long. So I don't really need to do anything. The scanner does the work for me. Don't need a home run in every trade. Yes, Ichiro is one of my idols. See, look, if you folks could see that X right now, all it's taken is 10 minutes for you to learn a trade setup. It's literally that straightforward. 10 minutes, okay? So I had a student send me this after putting that trade out. That's $1,000 win in just a few days.